I think that's it. Yeah, it's just a great way to start out. Okay, we are good. That was quick. And start. Let's start. We are live, folks. Sorry, I'm just getting set up. So those that don't watch the show, if you call it even a show, I'm just on talking about different topics. If it's an on topic, sometimes it's I usually talk a variety of stuff. Sometimes I'll even do fishing. It used to be a lot about politics. It's not about politics now. It used to be about activism. It's not about activism now. I don't know what exactly I would talk about. I would say it's about the system and finding a way outside the system to live, to thrive, and to let the current system die. Activism is about keeping up with the current system. It's kind of like a you find a bug, right, within the system, and so you're an activist and you go, hey, there's a bug here, everybody look, hey, there's a problem here. And then you have to get enough people to realize it and make a stink about it, or else the people who own the software, they go, yeah, we can live with that. But you know, if you have a software, say you have a video game, you're a developer, and you've got 100 million people who buy your software, but only 100,000 people, or not even that, maybe 3,000 people say, hey, we don't like this bug, but you got 999,700,000 people saying, yeah, I don't care. Developer's not going to care. They're going to say, hey, yeah, maybe we'll fix it. We probably won't. We don't care. We'll just ignore it. And then, you know, eventually the bug is always going to be there until it becomes a problem for the system. So what activism is you're still supporting the system. You're just trying to tell people, hey, there's something not good here. System's not going to do anything for you. They're not going to fix it for you. And usually the ones who really voice their opinion are the ones who really care. The ones who are out there, they go, oh, well, yeah, so is life. This is just how it is. Yeah, it's starting to get... Excuse me. I'm still not there. Hey, look at that. I gotta fix that. Yeah. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Got a little curtain behind me. Hey, Ryan. Yeah, could cost more to fix it. Shirley, how you doing? All right. Shirley, your hair's gonna be better than mine messed up. You can come in without having your hair fixed. I would say stop your activism. Stop this trying to save the current system. Even activists out there, tell me, what within the system is worth saving? Very little. You start a new system, all the stuff that was worth saving, that right now that you're fighting for, an uphill battle that you're never going to win, that you're never going to have support for. I mean, you've got more people out there that are just either just human nature, that they're just assholes and they'll just take your money and not do anything, or they're controlled opposition where they're just getting paid and you're just giving them money anyway and you don't know that they're controlled opposition. I just look right now at Ken O'Keefe. I didn't find out about Ken O'Keefe and Max Egan maybe until like 2 days ago, maybe a day ago. Ken O'Keefe raised like 130 what's the British pounds or euros, trying to come up with this platform, I guess, 3 years ago. And like every month he probably like comes up with a video saying, Yeah, we're behind. He's out there and somewhere in Dominica where no one could extradite him because it's a non-extraditing country, and people still give him, like, he still makes $666 a month on Patreon. And who's that guy who's like a police ex-military, maybe even an ex-police officer, and he went over to South Dakota somewhere for the gosh, I can't even remember the pipeline, right? They're trying to stop the pipeline. Guess what? He took the money, bought a new house, and all this other jazz. He took the money that was supposed to help support that activism. Okay. Say Shirley saying Susie D the other day was awful. The feed on the current system is cancer and it's dying like at GM, for example. Michael Wood. There you go, Ryan. That's right, Michael Wood. Correct. So right now, look, at least I can say throughout my entire ordeal that I've been on and I'm still doing, I haven't took 1 cent from anyone for myself. I've given out more money out to people, and that's on me. No one has to blame for that. That's fine. I finally understand a lot of things that I was probably naive about getting into this, and a lot of people are gonna be the same way, and hopefully they see it. And the ones who are gonna make the money are the ones who are gonna say the things that you want to hear. They're not gonna be against the system. And the time you speak out against the system, they're gonna be like, "Oh man, you're dangerous. You're gonna be like the Unabomber." It's like, yeah, I have all this equipment. I'm the Unabomber who likes electronics or something, whatever. So yeah. So yeah. Okay. Segue. So on topic, open topic. If you are watching on YouTube, in the description box, there's a link where you can come on in. You can even call on your phone instead. It's free. If you're watching on DLive, you can go ahead and I put in a chat. Unfortunately, I'm also streaming on Periscope. Of course, I can't put anything in some type of description area within Periscope. But also, if you are watching on Vimm.tv, you can actually see the link in the description box there. You're gonna have to excuse me if I've had this cough for over probably 2 months now. I'm still trying to get over it. Been sick the last 2 weeks and starting to get a little bit better, but still not quite there yet. So I've been looking into a lot more of history. A lot of people are probably looking into alternative media, independent media, because they realize that the mainstream corporate media is lying to you, and they have been for quite a while now, a couple years, if not decades. And it makes you think, all right, well, and, that's another story with alternative media, independent media. But then here's the other thing. Okay, so history. So if we're talking about history, and if we know that current events are lies, yet they're going to be in history books in the future, then what about the past? Is the past all lies too? Most likely it is. The more people out there finding a way to talk to each other, submit their findings to each other, investigate together, things like that, the more we find out that, hey, this doesn't add up. This doesn't make sense. And history isn't explaining anything to any of us. Most historians will go, well, that's coincidence. That's all it is, or that's just odd. But there's a lot of odd things out there, and that's their explanation. That's history. Anyways, you look at ancient history, heck, you even look at recent history. The Victorian era is interesting, because the Victorian era could be just an era of a world that existed previously that's been covered up. I think if you start researching into Great Tartaria or just Tartaria, you could just look into that. You'll see a lot there. I always wondered where tartar sauce came from. Wow. So when you start looking into that, you start thinking, okay, there's a lot of cool things within all these chapels and buildings, Victorian era and all this other stuff. And a lot of these buildings are so huge. They have huge doors. They have huge windows. You know, a lot of conspiracy theorists go, I won't even say conspiracy theorists, whatever, are going, were they made for giants? Were they made from giants? Another thing is, why aren't a lot of these buildings created today, or at least recreated? There isn't even a school that teaches you Victorian architecture, and there's nothing out there. I mean, a lot of people go and visit a lot of these buildings because of just the way that they created things, sculpted things, had so much artwork done with them, and yet there's no school, there's no corporation out there, there's no company that's building these types of structures today. Instead, we're all going out after these modern art pieces that look like trash to me. Really, it pretty much is trash to put in like a toilet seat and put some drops of paint on it. They'll call it modern art. Yeah, it's totally garbage. What else can I say? It's funny, I look up every once in a while and I see the chat and what am I doing here? I should be excuse me. Anyways, yeah. Open topic, any topic you want to talk about. So for certain people who don't realize that I usually show the chat, and I mean to, but I forgot to set it up. Give me a second here. There we go. Yeah. So every once in a while I look up and then there's Ryan saying a couple of things of someone else. So okay. Now what do we do? Like, I don't got an answer, and I ain't gonna take your money, ask for money to give a bogus answer. That probably won't work. I don't want anyone giving anyone any money, even activists. I think what we need are deactivists, people who just need to help deactivate the current system. That's what I think. And then, you know, actually, don't even give money to the deactivists either, because the deactivists, if they really want to get rid of this current system, they need to find a way where people can live outside the system. That shouldn't involve money. Like, well, people are going, well, how do you live without money? Well, we're going to have to finally figure out a way. If all our problems stem from money, the problem isn't figuring out how to create your own money and all this other stuff. It's just going to propagate the same problems into a different system. All the problems that exist today with war, with poverty, with homelessness, all of this stuff, a lot of it has to do with materialism, money, greed, power structures. We need to find a way outside of that paradigm, and the only way to make that work is to make it work. So that means if you're going to be a deactivist, if that's a new term, okay, you heard it here first. If you're going to be a deactivist, you're going to not ask for money, and that's my new thing. I'm not an activist, I'm a deactivist. We're going to deactivate the current system that's corrupt and broken, and figure out a way to have a system where it works for everyone and it won't be broken like it is today. Here we go. Ryan, how you doing, Ryan? Maybe I should call my new show the Deactivist Show. And I am going to ask for donations of tulips. Send me your digital tulips. And,
digital.
And those are the donations that I asked for. Digital tulips.
Shit, I'm looking woolly.
Oh yeah, I'm starting to get there. I'm gonna shave again.
Yeah, I'm not.
How long are you gonna grow that monstrosity?
I'm lazy.
You know, the longer it takes, to take that thing off. Because you're
Let it grow. Let it grow.
Cut it off, and then you're gonna have to shave it.
Isn't that Frozen? Let it grow. Let it grow. Or was that Let It Go?
Let it go.
I think that's Let It Go.
Yeah, Let It Grow is like.
You should know. You've got a daughter.
She doesn't really watch Frozen.
Blasphemy.
I am the ultimate of blasphemists.
Child not watching Frozen.
I think she's scared of it. Honestly, I don't
really.
Yeah. Or she just doesn't like it for some reason. Maybe she doesn't.
Fair enough.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't like Disney. That's fine with me.
Wow, that's not a bad thing. So yeah.
It's funny because I tell her, you can watch pretty much anything that you want. She just likes PBS Kids shows. She does watch that. She'll watch like a lot of nature type of shows. She'll listen to, as much as I don't like NPR, Circle Around and NPR, just stories for kids, and I don't like it. Some of it's not true, but it's stories. And she loves the stories that I tell, that I just kind of make up. Some of it I just kind of piece together from other stories and add it with my own type of thing.
Fair enough.
How's it been down there, down under?
Getting warm, man. Getting warm. If I can.
Wow. I miss those nice warm days. It's going to be 6 to 11 inches of snow tomorrow or on Sunday. I forget. Yeah,
I'm not missing it, dude. I don't want it. I don't like the heat.
You don't?
Nah, the heat sucks.
I don't know why you're an Australian.
Well, I had the choice to either be born in Australia, America, China, North Korea, and I took Australia. It doesn't make any sense, dude. I can't help it. I can't help it at all. So, yeah, I've just been working on my mental health. We're starting to get a move on. We're going to start looking for grants and stuff soon. So hopefully governments and politicians can jump on board and,
I have a bad feeling about it.
About what?
About it. About getting your grant.
Why?
It's just going to be tough. They'll probably look into you and go, oh my goodness, you're talking about this stuff? Grant denied.
Oh, no. Australian politicians love giving out money where they benefit from it.
Oh,
like their name benefit from it,
It's just something on their little resume is like, hey, we fought for
mental health.
Mental health, yeah. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. I like your angle.
Yeah. So
you know what? I should get a grant for all the people who are have mental health issues. I'll include myself on YouTube and say, hey, here's politicians, all the alt-right crazy media people, they just have mental issues. Can we get money to help these people? I don't think that'll work though.
Yeah, I don't think that'll work.
Yeah. Damn.
And plus where how do I put it? It's run by people with mental health issues.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Forsaken. I didn't see that she said hello. So,
yeah, we're just ignoring her. That's fine. So mean.
I'm good at ignoring people. So
yeah,
that's how I roll. So yeah, it's they love a good thing about communities doing things for themselves.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. Fingers crossed they jump on board.
What's your plan B?
Philanthropy, however you say it. Philanthropy.
Philanthropy?
Yeah, that's it. It's like I can't say Massachusetts. It's the same shit, dude.
Who are you gonna
So-
ask has money from these philanthropists? Bill Gates. I heard he likes giving out money to.
Oh no, there's tons of people in Australia that love to get the tax benefits of
Okay, so it's the same in the states, in the United
anyway.
States.
Oh yeah, it's the same shit, dude. It's the same shit.
Maybe I need chocolate.
Yeah, whenever you always need chocolate, brother.
Yeah, I know. I got a whole box of these Lindor chocolates. Lindor. Oh, I know
Nice.
these are bad for you, but oh man, they taste so good.
Yeah, there's always bad stuff for you out there, dude.
Yeah. A little bit of poison goes a long way.
Gee, my camera's pretty sharp today.
Yeah.
Usually it's a lot blurrier than that.
Mm-hmm.
Something must have happened.
Oh, I thought it was squish. It didn't. Oh,
It's hard.
yeah, it's hard.
Oh, you're in the middle of Nebraska. Everything's going to be cold and hard, like your heart. Ba-doom-tsh.
You know, funny thing with Nebraska.
Nebraska.
I think the tourists, the Nebraska State Tourism Board, guess what their motto is for Nebraska, for have people visit? It's Nebraska. It's not for everyone.
Huh?
Yeah, that's their motto. Nebraska Tourism Board, whatever. Their motto is Nebraska. It's not for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to get people to come to visit Nebraska for sure, huh?
That's like saying Apple, not everybody likes us.
That's a good one.
You know, it's sort of like, what the fuck? What kind of crack are you smoking out there in Nebraska? It must be the good stuff. Holy shit.
All right, just so you guys know, I'm not bullshitting you. Let me share. Oh, I can't. Oh,
That's messed up,
I'll
man.
do the browser zoom, so you can't really quite see it. You'll have to see it on your screen there. But Nebraska changes state slogan to "Honestly, it's not for everyone." So, Thrillist, Nebraska, NPR, Forbes. So I'll do Thrillist, and this was about a month ago. I think my wife was telling me about it, and I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?"
That's crazy.
So
That is crazy talk.
yeah. So in Thrillist, it says self-awareness is a virtue, and in a country where James Franco is a working professor and Oreos masquerades as poultry, a little candor is always a good thing. Fortunately, we can take cues from the state of Nebraska, which launched a new delightfully deadpan slogan this week. Honestly, it's not for everyone. That's the slogan for Nebraska folks. Honestly, it's not for everyone. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. All right.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
And you know what? They probably paid a what do you call it? What are they called? Advertising agency. $5 squillion for that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, not everybody's gonna like Nebraska, so let's tell everybody that it's shit out here. That's gonna get them to come.
I need to share something for you that you guys might like. I think I'm gonna make a video edit of this sometime soon. All right, so I'm gonna put in the chat so people can crap. All right, there we go. Can access it and watch it themselves, but I'll probably get a strike for this. Who cares? This is just hilarious. So recently, in the NBA, you're gonna have to watch this on the YouTube. Sorry, but you can always watch it later on a link. Ryan. So Dwight Howard has been through a lot of scrutiny lately. One of his things is that he's been having sex with a transsexual prostitute or something like that, and the prostitute is saying that he was like physically abusive or something. But within that, so a lot of people have been kind of looking back into the different videos of Dwight Howard, and they're some of these people who have been digging, they saw this little part where Dwight Howard grabs a teammate's junk on TV, and you can see it here. He's grabbing his teammate's junk as he's sitting down, right? And so Stephon Jackson, he's another NBA player. He's got a world championship. He's retired now. But this guy is great. He's funny. So he's reacting to Dwight Howard's crotch grabbing game. And I'll give you the two videos. They're pretty short, so you can listen in.
I mean, I know y'all been sitting there, everybody like, God damn, man, when Jack gonna say something about the Dwight Howard situation? Well, here you go. First. Well, really, the only thing I gotta say is, when did they start playing that game in NBA? When did they start playing grab your private game?
Volume, dude. Oh no, I've got it.
When did that become a game in the NBA? Grabbing each other privates. I'm sorry, I don't have no motivation or nothing to say. I'm confused. I'm sorry. This is the worst part.
So, and then there's the second part.
Then, too, who was in the locker room when he decided to come in there and say, hey, let's play the grab the private game? Like, who was in the locker room when he came in and said, that's the game we playing today? Like, nobody decided to stand up and like, oh, hey, man, we finna, I started this game they call grab your private game. Who? The whole team, we gonna play it. Who? All us? Shit. Man, you got me fucked up, Dwight. I wish one of y'all would come over and try to touch anything of mine. You gonna be picking up your teeth and counting them like Skittles. Fuck out of here. Ain't no way. Sorry. I just want to know who was in the locker room when he came in and threw that game out there for everybody to play. That's a sick suggestion. I got a game. Let's play Grab Woods. What?
Let's grab Woods. What? Yeah, so that's your daily dose of funny, I guess. Oh man. Excuse me. Where is my camera thing? I gotta blow my nose. Sorry. Oh man. That cracks me up every time I see it.
That's messed up. What's Dwight Howard thinking? What isn't he thinking?
Well, and also, like, what are the other teammates doing? Hey, stop grabbing my crotch, Dwight. It's like, no one's saying that?
I can understand in some respects why some people don't say anything. Because there's like, I'm a bench player and I don't want to upset people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not going to get court time.
I could see that, yeah.
But that's just...
Maybe they're not getting court time because they just like getting their crotch messed with.
No, I don't... That's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
And he should know better. He's on fucking TV. And he's been around he's been in more teams than I've had hot showers. So it would be interesting to know
I can't get that picture out of my head now. Thanks.
how many people he's done that to.
Yeah. And more people are going to probably look back and try to find it. And it's like, seriously, we've got hundreds of people probably going back watching old NBA games just to watch Dwight Howard grab someone else's junk.
Yeah.
For fun. Just to find them.
I kind of feel that would be triggering for people who have been sexually assaulted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be just disturbing. It really is. And the NBA should really. It depends. I mean, also with America, it depends how long ago it was.
Yeah. Well, you know, people will start saying, "Hey, you're going down a slippery slope, NBA. You can't touch grab people's crotches today. Tomorrow, we can't slap people's butts."
Well, you can't slap people's butts anyway. So.
We can't. Did that get?
Nope.
Did that get? What happened? We can't slap people's butts anymore. I never liked that anyway, but still, when did that change?
You can slap a butt if the person approves of it. So
you have to ask them first before you slap their butt?
Well, usually it's someone that you know, so it's not.
I mean, you're on a team, you know everybody.
Yeah, it's usually someone you know. So.
I always like it.
I just think it's messed up.
Yeah, I just think it's just weird. It's like, hey, we got high five, we got fist bump, and you're just gonna go poop.
You're just gonna grab my junk.
Yeah, grab your junk or slap the butt. What's up with that? When did that become a thing? It's like, hey guys, you guys do something good out in the sports field. I'm gonna slap your tushy. Good job.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I think all that sort of butt slapping stuff is weird.
I mean, there's a lot of that stuff. Weird stuff that happens. I don't get it. All right. I don't take medicine. I'm gonna have to try Robitussin. And if it works, I'm gonna send a letter to Chris Rock saying Shirley suggested I try Robitussin, and just to let you know that your dad was right. That's what I'm gonna have to say in a letter to Chris Rock if my coffin gets cured. Robitussin.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in medicine. I mean, Robitussin is mostly just alcohol anyway, so.
Oh, I just need to drink some alcohol.
It's not.
No, they have something, a chemical in it. I think the other ingredients.
Chemical.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just that synthesized chemical that inhibits your coughing mechanism, and all the other ingredients are just like the artificial coloring, the alcohol, and whatever it needs to be preserved. The preservative.
Just look it up.
Yeah. What are we, researchers? Why would we look stuff up? Oh, hold on.
What do you think this is? The age of the internet?
Give me a second. I gotta blow my nose. I don't think people want to watch that.
No.
I don't think people even want to hear my nose blowing.
So how's that website going that you were building?
I'm trying to get my server up. This server is going to be a beast. Right now, I'm trying to get my... I need to install a firmware that'll get my LSI 2008 RAID controller that's embedded within the server board itself working, because I've got 2 SAS ports utilizing 8 hard disks. Those 8 hard disks are 8 terabytes each, so I'm gonna have effectively 32 terabytes of data starting off. It has 16 cores, 32 threads, 128 gigabytes of RAM. So it'll be pretty fast.
For those who don't know, that's going to be fast.
Yeah, that's faster than many corporations that host a lot of things. It's like super fast compared to the previous corporation I was working in. That's AAG, and that was for their retirement planning software. The retirement planning software only had 2 cores.
What?
That's it. 2 cores. 4 megabytes memory. 2 hard disks of 100 gigabytes each. And that's it. That was their hardware.
I've seen better 486s than that.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, a lot of the advantages of hardware can be, a lot of things could be solved. Problems with software, especially scalability, can be solved with hardware. Corporations don't do it. You know how much it costs AIG to get a system like mine up? It's like $2 million. I'm like, how does it cost $2 million? This thing I built for like probably less than $1,000 with like used parts.
Built like, with $50 and a lot of oral sex.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of oral sex. But still, I mean, I can build this myself, have a redundant system backing it up, fix it right away if it needs to be. And like,
yeah,
it's like almost nothing, but for them, it's going to cost like $2 million. How does that work? It's like I had a idea for parallel programming with just a graphics card, right? Just utilizing that. They go, I'm sorry, it's going to cost $200,000. $200,000? The graphics card itself costs $100. It's like, if you're going to have a redundant system, 3 graphics cards, $300. It's like, oh, we only have rack mount servers. Well, you could build a non-rack mount server and put it on there, and it'll cost you. I mean, you could even have a rack mount server that has a taller profile. They have those. There's no way it costs $200,000.
They're full of shit, dude.
Yeah,
they're full of shit. I hate when people are full of shit like that. They try and pull the wool over your eyes, and you sit there going, "Fucking cracky, you been smoking, fuckstick."
Yeah, so that just kills me.
I guess the one good thing about summer is cricket starts soon.
Yeah, I love the sound of crickets. I mean, you know, at nighttime, you know, I've got crickets all over my basement, and just kidding.
Cricket.
I know.
Everybody loves cricket.
Cricket. Nobody loves cricket. No one in the U.S. No one knows what it is.
Yeah. The 5-day matches start soon.
You're gonna have to explain cricket to me, because every time it's like watching, you know, Harry Potter when they play Quidditch. Yeah, it just reminds me of Quidditch. All of a sudden they throw in a curveball. It's like, what? That's part of the game?
It's more like baseball.
Yeah, but isn't there like a point within cricket where like they automatically get 100 points or something like that? It's like, really, where did they get 100 points?
No. Cricket, some test matches go for 5 days. Like the max it can go for is 5 days. So, and they this is the weird thing. I think it's the only sport except for tennis where the opposing team / person wears the same color as you.
Okay.
So in test match cricket, which is there's 3 versions of the game. There's test match, which is 5 days. Then there's 50 overs, so it's like 50 innings. And then there's 20 innings. Right. So they're just shortened versions of the game.
So, let's start at the beginning. Okay, 5 days. 5 days Like that's the longest it goes. Now, is that broken up like a certain hour amount?
Yeah,
Like
8 hour days,
8 hour days.
10 till 6. I get breaks and drink breaks and
So
stuff.
if you're watching these games, do you have to pay for each day, or do you just pay one ticket to get into the each day?
Each day.
Game? So you have to
Each
pay
day.
a new ticket for every new day?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gotta suck.
Yeah. So,
So no one would want to go to the first couple of days. Wouldn't everybody just wait for like the fifth day?
See here, the day after Christmas, Boxing Day, is a public holiday across the country. So in Melbourne, in my city, they have the cricket starting on Boxing Day.
Wouldn't boxing start on Boxing Day?
Learn the story of Boxing Day, dude, and come back to me.
So Boxing Day is about cricket?
No, Boxing Day is about poor people receiving the leftovers foods of.
Oh, that's a great holiday to celebrate.
Yeah.
Sorry, people who don't know, I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? So how much does a ticket cost to go to a day match?
It varies. It varies from state to state. I think the cheapest you can get is like $25.
Holy smokes! So 5 days, it would cost $125 if you wanted to watch the entire.
Usually the 5th day is free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's still $100. Well,
that's if the match lasts 5 days.
Yeah. Actually, that's not too bad. I mean, because it's 8 hours a match.
And I'm pretty sure they have like you can buy a ticket for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper, but it's just
it's not that bad. I mean, United States, if you want to watch like a basketball game or a baseball game on the cheap, it's gonna be like at least $50. You might be able to get it cheaper on some days or whatever, but it's gonna be around $50 to $80, and that's only for like around a 2-hour sport, on average. So an 8-hour sport for $25, that's kind of a good deal.
I pay $300 a year for the NBA.
League Pass?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. So I was watching LeBron James today. So
how are the Lakers doing then? Like
they're doing better than last year.
That's not saying much.
But yeah, they're just shitty. They're not. I mean, it's going to take a while to get LeBron sort of
a team
in charge, and a team behind him and in charge.
Yeah.
So,
is there a new coach with the Lakers?
No, Luke Walton.
He's still coach. I guess he's all right. He kind of learned from Steve Kerr a little bit in the Clippers, right? Not the Clippers.
Yeah, not the Clippers. Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And plus, he's an ex-player as well. So,
I wonder if I'm gonna have to get back into NBA just to watch something. I don't know. I'm plugging back into the Matrix partly just to enjoy the entertainment and the noodles.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just hard. It's just weird. Like I think it was last night or 2 nights ago. I went on and played a game with my brother, Age of Empires. I might have to live stream a game. It's kind of hilarious. We're old. We're rusty. Like we haven't played in 2 years, and our ratings are really high. And so we're trying to get in and play with just normal people because, like right now, his rating's like 1800, mine's just like high 1700s. Like I didn't really play that much when the HD came out. AOE 2 HD is what it's called. So we haven't played for like 2-3 years, and we're playing and we're like getting beat by like 1600 rated players. But we don't quit, so that's a good thing. If we play, we'll come back a lot of games and win. But I don't know how often we'll be doing that. Just one of those things that we just, when I visited, we were just talking old stories about the game, and we'll probably try and play again. Give me a second. I'm gonna blow my nose again.
All right.
So, just give me a second. By the way, hi, Ali Esther.
Hey, my friend wanted me, the guy that I've been playing World of Warcraft with since forever, was like, come back to World of Warcraft and play, and I'm just like, no, I've got other things to do.
Yeah.
So I spend most of my time trying to get this website up and running, and I have to get some legal assistance as well. So,
all right.
In to,
well, if I get a faster, I might try to get eventually in the future move my server out to like a commercial building, try to get a commercial line. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna cover up Shirley's, so people don't see Shirley's number very easily. Hi Shirley, how are you doing? There you go.
Shirley, the Philadelphia Queen. Tell you what, those sixes are doing all right.
Hello, YouTube.
Hey Shirley.
Hey Shirley.
How you been?
Guys been?
Wait, so
I've been fine.
You spent all this time fixing up your hair and you're just on the phone?
No, I was under the dryer. I hate it.
Oh, okay.
Oh God.
Do you watch basketball, Shirley?
Not much since Iverson left here.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got Ben Simmons now. You got to get behind
Jimmy Butler.
And Jimmy Butler as well.
My wife loves Jimmy Butler because he's a Marquette
alumni.
Graduate. She's from Marquette, so.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she would love Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, like Dwayne Wade was from Marquette, and Jimmy Butler. A couple of people. I usually know a lot of the NBA players that are Marquette players because of my wife. They're pretty good. The good Marquette players are pretty good in the NBA.
And I'm thinking another player wants to leave here because since Jimmy Butler been here, they've been sitting him on the bench. And I'm trying to think who it is. Can't remember his name.
I'm just wondering. I wonder if it was a good trade. You know what I mean? Because Philadelphia did give up a lot to get Jimmy Butler.
Did they trade away their big forward or center?
Yeah, Saric and Covington.
Oh, well, Covington just kind of hucked threes all the time, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's hitting them though. That's this season he's hitting them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the best time to trade.
Difference.
I watch basketball here in Philly again once it gets more exciting.
Yeah. Well, Philly's easily going to make the playoffs.
Well, yeah, that's because you always have a weak Eastern Conference.
Easy.
And the Eagles this year suck.
Yep, I watched them today.
Well, what else is new?
Our coach is sounding like Andy Reid now. It's my fault. I'm like, why y'all not running the goddamn ball?
Yeah.
They don't look like a Super Bowl team.
I've noticed that a lot of NBA or NFL teams they don't like to play the old running back slow game. They like the high flying passing game. That's been pretty big last decade.
We won the Super Bowl with the Philly special they made up. Mm-hmm. Other teams are trying it now.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? They ain't even tried that this year. Man, we got Dallas Monday night.
Yeah.
And we got to win that one.
Like what else? Remember the Seahawks? They had a great running game. You know, that opened at the passing game, and then they lost to the Patriots because they had 4 downs where they could just kept trying to run it in, and they did a pass play. Stuff like that just cracks me up. Oh, all right. So, Quidditch. I mean,
Cricket.
cricket. Is that the #1 sport in Australia?
Summer sport, yep.
Wow. That's bigger than, so it's bigger than rugby even.
I wouldn't say that.
It's on par.
Because they're played in 2 different times.
Okay.
So you can't really sort of say one's better than the other. You know, it's sort of like saying basketball's better than baseball.
It is better than baseball.
Well,
Yeah, baseball is boring. I can't watch that unless we in the World Series.
Yeah.
It's long.
Oops. Yeah. It's
Very
a long season.
I remember one time I turned on TV, it was 2 in the morning. I'm like, damn, a baseball game still on live?
yeah, I mean that's what it's sort of like, you know. It's hard to say. I mean, and it depends what state you're in as well. Like if you're in Queensland and New South Wales, then you're gonna like rugby. If you're in Victoria or South Australia, Western Australia, you're gonna like AFL football.
Yeah, my husband loved watching that. No, when you mean NFL football, you say NFL?
No, AFL.
Oh, yeah, my husband loves that.
The Australian League, Australian rules football.
Well, I don't know what teams he watching, but he always watching it every weekend or during the week.
Yeah.
I wish he'd get on board with me.
It's an acquired taste. Not everybody likes football. Yeah, it's hard. It's a lot more physical than American football. Because
it is. They don't get concussions, do they? And get that
absolutely. They don't even wear helmets. They don't even wear helmets in Australia.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So they're just like, you Americans are soft.
Well, they tackle differently.
So
hey, Ebon, if you take that Robitussin, because that DM, I had a cough just like yours, and it pissed me off. And I started taking it and taking it and taking it. One day I said, "Oh, I'm not coughing anymore." I'm like, "Wow," because it's a dry hacking cough. That is horrible.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna try it and see if it works.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
I had took it for a while. I had it long like you did. And I said, yeah, that doesn't sound like I did one time. And I took that, and it one day it just went away. I ain't had to take it no more.
Yeah.
I don't like taking medicine either. But I had to get rid of that.
Sorry. Give me a second. All right, I might have to go out and get some Robitussin. All right, so Forsaken is asking about computer stuff.
No, Robitussin DM. Make sure you get that.
The DM, is that like the nighttime one?
No, they don't put you to sleep.
Oh, okay.
It just helps everything, but it takes away that cough. I swear to God, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, damn, I stopped coughing.
All right, I'm gonna have to try that. Robitussin DM.
I'm just going to drink Robitussin for the sake of it. Sounds like a good thing.
Now, I don't like taking medicine, but that really worked because I really had a cough just like Evan. It was a long time and I was getting worried. I said, I hope I'm not getting pneumonia. But it went away.
Yeah,
I couldn't wait to stop to take it.
I haven't had a cough like that for ages. I used to get them all the time when I was younger, but now I don't have anything like that.
Hi, Eric.
Is that? I was just about to say, is that Eric?
Hello, how's it going?
Eric, what's up?
Hey, Eric.
Playing video games. How about yourselves?
Yeah. Doodling in
I'm fine.
Illustrator. Just doodling in Illustrator.
Nice.
Hey, did you guys hear about a whistleblower that already gave his documents to Congress about Hillary Clinton Foundation with the uranium deal? The feds went and raided his house. He gave him the documents. He's been missing for 10 days.
Damn.
Yeah. It's this guy, Ken Simpson. I watch Kip Simpson. He gives breaking news. He don't do videos like we do. He just, if he got breaking news, he breaks it. And he broke that. Yeah.
Got to be careful when you're dealing with the Clintons.
Yeah. But my thing is, I think they I just got a gut feeling they're going to go down because Mueller is running all over the place, going to get Corsi and Roger Stone. Oh my God. They don't even know Julian Assange. And then that fake article from The Guardian about Manafort met with Assange. And WikiLeaks is going to sue him now.
Yeah. I like The Guardian for some things, but for shit like that, I don't trust them.
No. They sort of retracted it now.
That's like the one thing. It's like they're all like, you know, they're no better than like the New York Times, the Washington Post, all of them.
In some respects, they are. Like, I don't mind like their mental health stuff. I like that, but yeah, I just don't like.
They don't even talk about that.
Oh, they do sometimes. I'm always sort of reading stuff in The Guardian regarding mental health and all that type of stuff. So, but I mean, it's rare.
And what you guys think about Mark Lamont Hill being fired from CNN for his speech at the UN?
Fucked.
Yeah, he got fired for truth. It's crazy.
Like, that's literally fucking bullshit 101 right there. That's
yeah.
And we all know it. We all know
Yep.
it. I mean, you'd have to be pretty darn naive to think that there's not an ulterior motive behind that type of bullshit.
Israel got this country by its balls. And the politicians. Yep. Because he didn't say nothing about he was against Jews at all. It's the government.
Yep.
That's what it's all governments in general. All governments. They're just trying to censor, you know, they're just trying to go and censor anybody, no matter who it is. That's their game, and that game should stop. I mean, unfortunately, it won't. But I mean, look at Obama legalizing propaganda.
Yeah. How about that? Removing habeas corpus. He locked up more whistleblowers than any other president.
He's a sick fuck. He really is.
And he's like going and like, you know, lecturing people.
I know.
Well,
it's sort of like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like a massive fucking slap in the face, isn't it?
Honestly, he sounds like a kid going around just talking about Trump, calling him names, telling him he got mommy issues. I'm like, he sound like a fucking kid. You were quiet when you was president.
It's just bullshit. It really is.
Yeah. Did you hear Hillary and Bill on their tour? They was in Canada, and they was selling them tickets for high prices. They was filling up the arena. It was 19,000 seats. They brought it down to $4. That was hilarious for me.
They're
They
that
still
desperate.
don't get it. Yeah, they don't get it. They're not
They
with
don't.
reality.
They don't get it. You're right, Sean.
No.
Yes,
They don't
like
live. Go ahead, Eric.
they that's right. They just don't get it. Like they don't get like America doesn't want them just to run. Like, you know what? Here's one thing. They cheated, and now they're going around like, oh, we didn't cheat. You know, you could still trust us. And like people are like, you know, like they're gonna be like, yes. I mean, with her political tenure, fuck that. Like,
It's just bullshit, man.
She's horrible. And the reason why all them people coming over here, I know Soros is paying them to do it, but from Bush to Clinton and Obama, they've been running drugs through all those different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And ruin their lives. So they come in here with the people that started it.
It's never ending.
No, it isn't. They're like, oh, they selling Cory Booker. Oh, they spraying gas on. Nigga, you taking tear gas money to people that make the tear gas money for your campaign. You don't care about some people.
it's all these politicians. All they just want to do is just sit there and just lecture.
Yeah.
And see their bank accounts grow bigger.
They would just rather lecture and just keep lecturing and just, you know, convince them like, oh, we're just going to sit here and just keep lecturing. And
oh, you don't like the fact that I'm lecturing you?
They want to lecture and point the finger and think that they're moralistically, like, you know, politically moralistically superior, but they're so full of shit.
Kind of like that Ebon Kim dude gets on his fucking high horse.
Yeah, I know. Chet Mangold especially. No,
And
Chet
did you see?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Did you see that they didn't vote for Barbara Lee lost the seat for the head caucus in the DNC?
Mm-hmm.
Rokana is pissed. I'm still shaky on him though, but he's pissed because he said I voted for her.
She got beaten by a Clintonist.
Yeah. They need to get rid of the Clintons. They really do.
Same
And they need to get rid of Nancy Pelosi.
You need to get rid of everybody.
Obama's.
Yep. And I don't trust Alexandria Cortez.
The There's this one person in H.A. Goodman's chat that's actually going to run against Ocasio-Cortez.
Well, that's good.
And I'm like supporting that big time.
That woman didn't grow up in no Bronx. She visited family in the Bronx. And that magazine photo she did, she had on a $5,000 suit. Her father's an architect. I don't hear her complaining about college debt at all. And she's talking about Nancy Pelosi is an activist, and she's progressive. She's done a lot of things, and she endorsed Cuomo and her.
I think she's just playing playing everyone. Ocasio.
Yeah, I think also. I think also the $5,000 suit thing is blown. I think she gave a reason for that. I think it was like given to her for a photo shoot.
Hey, look,
Well,
guys, you guys just need to
Nice.
fall in line. I mean, she supports the people who are in the DNC, and you guys need to just fall in line and support that too.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
hell.
what she does. Because her
I-
shoes she wore, them heels she wore in her campaign cost a couple of $1,000s. So
The
she didn't have it hard at all.
Because, like, okay, like, where is like the $2 million that should be, given back to the Bernie Sanders supporters that were cheated out of their donations? That's why I say fuck the DNC. That's like one of the biggest reasons I'd say, you know what? If WikiLeaks can go and sue the Guardian, why not fucking sue the DNC?
Well, they are
The
being
DNC.
sued.
DNC has
They
got no.
gotta-
Exactly.
DNC has got no money.
Because no one talks about the DNC fraud lawsuit.
No, that's another thing, because they got a hearing next month.
Yeah, it's December right now. Well, in the 2:38 Eastern.
Mhm.
But like the DNC, fuck the DNC. They're like the worst political organization in American history. And plus, they colluded with the fucking media that keeps propagating all this bullshit. And plus, going back to Obama legalizing propaganda once again. This is no wonder why we're in this PC propaganda culture, I like to call it. And,
Yeah,
and,
but
and also look at the cult type mentality that these quote unquote journalists on the mainstream media that lectures the propaganda for the corporate media off of a teleprompter.
But how can you so do you like the Republican Party? I mean, basically since the Clinton era, the DNC just became Republicans. I mean, a lot of people just call them Republican light. A lot of people just call them neoconservatives. I mean, that's what they call them. There's no left anymore. A lot of the left have left the DNC.
It's just one party. That's all it is. One
It's the
party.
It's the 2-in-1 party.
Yeah, there you go.
You can't make changes from the inside. And Bernie Sanders has lost me talking that Russia shit and getting rid of Assange.
He talked about getting rid of Assange? Interesting.
Yes, he did. I saw him on the interview. I'm like, what the fuck?
What did he say about Julian Assange?
Yeah, not Assange, Assad.
Oh, Assad.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a big difference, sure.
Because I thought it was
said
Assange. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
I heard Assange too. I was like, what? Bernie Sanders?
But he said something about Assange, too.
What did he say about Julian Assange?
He said he should be brought in for justice.
What?
I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, Julian Assange. He said Assad and Assange.
Julian, okay, enough
And
of
he
fucking
lost
Bernie Sanders
me.
lecturing now. He's going after
Yeah.
Julian Assange. Yeah, Bernie Sanders is lecturing for the people that cheated on him. There you go. He's lecturing for the party that cheated on him and cheated his supporters. And
And
I was
then
like,
when he said his supporters on Facebook, social media were Russian bots.
yep, he's lecturing for the DNC and the Democratic Party, like the opportunist that he is now. He's an opportunist.
You know what's funny is that there are people who are wanting Bernie Sanders to run in
He's not going to
2020.
win.
Hey,
They're
for a
going to
second.
cheat him again.
Well, they
Nope,
can't.
they're going to cheat him again, and he's going to play along with the Clintons.
Well, they can't. He can't.
Yep.
He can't even run. They had a mandate sometime earlier this year. You can't run in the
Right.
DNC unless you are a
Oh,
Democrat.
hell no.
Hi, Forsaken.
Hello.
So we're gonna take a little bit of a tech break, so I could talk to Forsaken about a couple of ideas that won't break the bank, because she has an old XP machine, but she can't access certain websites and certain things because she's on XP, but also she doesn't want
Porn's important.
and she doesn't want to update completely to Windows 7 and stuff, because there's applications that only run on XP, right, Forsaken?
Yeah, there's that, and then there's also things that won't run on XP that I'm running into a lot of that. So, you know, I was looking for a second cheap machine, one that could run the XP, one that could run the Windows, and run the 7. And
Oh.
I was looking at that one that it just kind of turned up in an ad they sent me. Was one, it comes with a processor that will run Windows 7. You don't have to run Windows 10. But anything over 6th generation, you have to run Windows 10 or else you can't update.
The Windows 7 updates, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might be the easiest to get a second computer. That way you just don't have to run into too many hassles. But if you wanted to try something, it's getting a USB stick, right? Just whatever. You can use like a 32 megabyte, but I mean honestly, you can get a 128 gigabyte SSD drive for like $30. So it's not gonna break the bank to have higher. Or you could just get a 128 gigabyte SSD, just normal SSD, and just get an adapter for it, and that'll cost you about $30 too. So $25 for the 28 gigabyte SSD, $5 for an adapter, and there you go. It's a good boot drive. And what you do is you install Windows 7 to go. So you just get like Rufus, and you get an image of Windows 7 to go, and because they're out there, you can just download them, and you're all set. So what that means is you can get on any machine and use that as the boot up, and you can get into your system. And what you can end up doing is you have your hard drive. I don't know how your computer's set up, but if you have a separate boot drive and you've got a separate drive for all your other...
Yeah, I have like half a dozen drives in there.
Okay.
And one of them is the boot drive. It also has a lot of stuff on it too.
Okay.
And then I've got other ones that are full, and that's another reason why another computer would be handy, because even more drives. I was actually looking at a Mediasonic, I think it's Mediasonic.
She should get an external drive.
Well, yeah, I do. The thing is, I like Western Digital Gold drives, because they're, really heavy duty, and
I have a lot of whites and reds, and they haven't, and some older blacks. They haven't gone bad on me.
I have the older blacks, and the older blacks are good. But when I don't know, last year I was looking at to add another drive, and the newer blacks, they had a lot of complaints about using cheapy parts and everything, and they were breaking. And
the thing, there's a lot of rebranding that goes on with a lot of different types of drives, so that does suck. I think your best bet would be just to get a second computer, build it cheap. That'll just make things easier. Just you know which computer to go if you always have them on. But the cheap USB to go, Windows to go, that's something you can do. So for example, you just want to do stuff that's that access those sites and applications on Windows 7. You just boot it up with your USB stick, and you're there. You could access all your other files if you wanted to. You just have to get the security settings for your boot drive, so you can access the files there. But all the other external stuff that's already on that machine, you should be able to access them without having to change anything. So all you have to do is once you're done and you want to use your other stuff, that's Windows XP, you just reboot the machine and boot it from your original boot drive, not your USB Windows to go drive, and you're in.
Yeah, doing dual boot is something I actually, when I first built this computer, I actually tried to set it up to have Windows XP and to have
Windows 7.
Linux. No,
Oh,
have
Linux. Okay.
on it, and the Linux just would not work. I don't know what was wrong with it, and I just gave up instead of trying a different. It might have been something faulty with the download or something, but
yeah,
it was giving me all kinds of issues trying to.
Yeah, I don't like putting dual boot on the same drive just because if something bad happens on one, it might corrupt the drive, and you screw yourself on the other.
Yeah. Well, I had like
partition.
I bought like 2 500 gig drives, or was it 5? Would I get 500 or 620 drives?
Yeah.
And so I would have put one on would have probably put it on the second drive. I mean, this was 10 years ago that I built this, so but I imagine I put it on the other drive.
Yeah.
But
is your machine X68 or X86, or is it X64 compatible?
Well, it was compatible, so I could have. I'm pretty sure the motherboard could handle it, and the processor could too.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they could run both.
Then you won't have a problem with the Windows to go. I mean, either way, Windows to go, you can.
I mean, I'd have to check, but it was like a quad core 95. I think a 9550.
Okay. Yeah. That's X64 compatible.
Yeah.
So I would try the like a USB boot disk, Windows 7. You can get the X64 ISO and do Windows 7 to go boot drive and see how that works. And if it doesn't, then go in and build your second computer as cheap as you can.
Yeah, because I kind of like to do the second one and have the second one, because that way there's always a backup, and I could just throw my drives into that if something happened with this one.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, like with the Dell, it's got the an i5 6500. As long as I can get it off of because who knows with those proprietary systems, if they do something that you can't take it off the motherboard and put it on another one, or even remove the motherboard and use it. But I don't know how many connections and stuff. They really don't give you much information.
You can always remove them. Sometimes all they have are certain screws that you need. They'll have like the triangular screws, so you need special tools to remove them. So you can always do that.
Yeah. Also, do you know what kind of drives they use in Dell computers?
I would say probably Western Digital, but I have no clue. Sometimes I like Hitachi. Some of them, I don't know. They probably just use the cheapest stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hear a lot of great things about Dell, so. Yeah.
No one does.
Seagate. I think Seagate. Dell's teamed up with Seagate, so you might see a Seagate drive in there. I don't really like Seagate drives.
Yeah, I don't really either. I've always gone with Western Digital.
Yeah. So, anyways, just let me know how it goes. I would go to Hard Forum. There's a lot of great people there that sell a lot of their used stuff for a good price, and I've done a lot of trading through different hardware sites, hardware forums, I've only been screwed once, and that was for cheap stuff. And so that's saying a lot. I probably had like 400, 500 transactions, and only one was bad from a bad seller. So
Yeah, I was even looking at like cheap laptops during like the Black Friday sales and stuff. But in the meantime, while I'm checking the specs and this and that and everything, they're selling out. You know,
oh
all the ones that I actually was interested in and
yeah.
that were, you know.
Yeah, laptops. I like to use laptops. You could just, you know, I still have an old one that I still use. The only thing I really want is just at least a 1080p screen on them. That's like my only priority. Otherwise, I don't need to have them. I don't need to play games on them, right? Just onboard video is fine for viewing
Yeah,
video.
I like a 17.3 inch. That's what's on my old one. My old one's really beat up though. I loaned it for a day. Took a year and a half to get it back, and it's all beat up and it's, you know, a wreck. And so I was thinking of replacing it. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a second desktop though either, but it is more convenient with the laptop.
Yeah.
But if I had a second desktop, I'd want something that had room to let it grow, you know, add more drives. I don't like cloud storage. I like storing everything on my computer and, you know, just.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things you can watch out for is they've had 8 terabyte externals from Western Digital that goes as low as $120, and inside of them are Western Digital Red or Western Digital White, which are very good drives. They even have 10 terabytes that go as low as $180. It comes with the free 32 gigabyte USB. So if you can afford one of those, I mean, 8 terabytes, 10 terabytes goes a long way.
Yeah. Then again, I run into the problem with XP. It won't recognize anything over a 2 terabyte drive.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have to.
So I'm still stuck with that problem. It has to be 2 terabytes or less, unless I have something.
How about Windows Vista?
Oh. No.
No.
You usually want to skip every other Windows OS. So after XP, there's Vista. You want to skip Vista. Then it was Windows 7. Windows 7 was good. Windows 8 was crap. Then they came out with Windows 10. Windows 10 is actually pretty good. You just want to.
Pretty good, except it's full of all kinds of things. It won't. It updates at will, and you have to go through hoops just to try and, you know, get it to.
Yeah, if you disable a lot of privacy stuff and you configure some of the updates and things like that, it's fine. I still have Windows 7 machines, but I've been using Windows 10 for everything, and I like it. Windows 10 is good.
Because I'd like to. Because if I did get something with 10, I'd want to get rid of Cortana.
Yep.
I would want to get rid of, you know, do whatever workarounds I could to get rid of that updating when it wants to update, and I don't like that you can't choose your updates.
Yeah. That's probably a problem. Some of the things you can do is the Windows Update folder. Just mess around with that. So yeah, it's a little bit of work. I think a lot of the Windows 10 updates they're okay. They're gonna mess with you every once in a while, but once you figure everything out, just download everything that needs to be installed ahead of time as far as your updates for everything else, and let Windows just update its own stuff. There's some stuff I hate about Windows 10 updates. Like some of it is you'll update it. No, Windows 7. Sorry, there's Windows 7 stuff that bugged me too. It's like you'll update it and it'll fail. It's like no matter what, it'll fail, and you'll try to hide it, and then it'll just re-download itself to install. So there's problems with 7. There's problems with 10. I mean, it's Windows. It's
Yeah, I mean,
Microsoft.
I really had to tweak up 7 when I got this a lot. I mean, things like, well, I don't really use it on the laptop. I had to do that on XP too, and I do use it there. I had to set it so it has more half open um, connection,
Mhm.
because otherwise they limit you. And but there's a nice little easy utility that you can do that with, and just a lot of things. It was just really annoying at first,
Yep.
but I don't like even Windows 7. To me, finding stuff is not intuitive. It's not know where everything is. You have to dig around and
What's interesting that you might want to try out, there's a Linux distro. I forgot what it's called, but pretty much it's like Windows XP. They just made it look exactly like the Windows XP layout. I haven't.
yeah, but looking like it doesn't mean I can use my programs on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's just one thing. But I mean, if you ever want to decide to go that way, I think that's probably the better way to go than just keep using XP till 2040.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I would try if I did get a new computer set, I would probably do some kind of dual boot.
Yeah.
Try a Linux and get used to it, but I would still want some kind of Windows on there so I could use the programs that I want to use.
Yep. I mean, I don't know how old you are, Forsaken, but it's great to have a lot of people still messing with computers and try to be a power user. And I'm telling you, a lot of people wouldn't even, they go, dual boot? What does that mean? So that's good. I like that you're keeping up with it. But yeah, it does get tough. I mean, right now I think it's having a second computer for backup and is always the way to go. I think having a lot of USB sticks are a way to go, because I have maybe 30 USB sticks, and I always try not to reflash them so many times, but some of them it's like I don't want to redo that, and so I just keep them around with labels. And this was like an old Partition Magic. It's probably about time I updated the Partition Magic bootable. But yeah, they're just very handy to have. I mean,
yeah, I have flash drives, but they're all 16 gigs and under, because all the reviews I'd read of the bigger ones, a lot of failures, a lot of problems with bigger ones. So unless I thought about getting one, just maybe one.
I've had the best reliable flash drives that have never ever gone bad for me are SanDisk, especially the Extreme Pros. They've never gone bad. I've had up to 64 gigabytes. I haven't really tried. 128 gigabytes. I had a couple of those. They never went bad. Kingston, the smaller drives, yeah, they've been reliable for me. They're not the fastest, but they've been reliable. Like I probably flashed them a couple, I'd say 30, 40 times at the minimum, and they're still going. But a lot of these boot drives, for like if you're going to use them as boot drives, you don't need a lot of storage on them. And the applications, if you install applications on them on a different hard drive, you're okay. I mean, and flash drives are cheap. I was looking through and I was so tempted to buy a couple. It's because like the 128 gigabyte, like the ones that are like 400 write, 200 read speeds, like $30. I was like, oh man.
Black Friday, they had all kinds of deals for Black Friday.
I know.
But I picked up some $2.99 16 gig PNYs. Now I only have one little old beat up PNY. It was like a found thing.
Yeah.
And it's still going. But
Pony's actually decent. I've had I think I had a couple PNY.
Yeah, most of mine are all SanDisk, but
yeah. I always found SanDisk to be reliable, Samsung to be pretty reliable, Kingston, OCZ not too reliable. Stay away from OCZ.
Yeah, I didn't know there's who I haven't bought any by Patriot.
Oh.
And, Patriot has a not the greatest.
Not the greatest, yeah. I'd stay away from Patriot personally. They're okay. Them with Kingston used to have a couple issues in the past that I don't like. Deceptive practices where they'll have a SSD with certain controller and certain type of memory, and they won't even tell people, but they'll put in different parts, cheaper parts, and with this, so they'll send out a good SSD, call it something, and it has good controller, has good memory on it, and then after they get that good review, they'll replace the parts and not tell the public about it. So people who open it up, they go, "Hey, this is a cheaper controller and cheaper memory parts." It's like, what are you guys trying to pull here? You know. So just keep that in mind with Kingston and Patriot.
Yeah, there's another brand I'm trying to think of, but I can't think of it right now. Trends something. That also is not, but I can't think of what it is.
Oh. Yeah, I used to be big into the hardware stuff, and there's a lot of deceptive practices that go on. It's screwy, and it just.
You know, well, see this. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to go.
Oh no, go ahead.
That's the whole thing with WD drives too, is that they keep changing what drives are inside their externals. And you have to watch the model numbers really carefully, but when you order them from a place, they don't necessarily tell you which one they're going to send always.
Yeah, like I've gotten a lot of all my high terabyte drives, I just got them from externals. But one thing that's been good for the 8 terabyte and 10 terabyte, it's always been reds and whites. So, and everyone else has been saying the same thing. They're getting reds or whites.
Yeah, because I was looking at one and trying to see what people were saying was inside it, and it was blue. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I had a couple old ones. Both of them failed, but what failed was the USB. Eventually the drives failed too, but I broke open the cases and took them out and put them internal. But one was a green, and I can't remember what the other one was.
If you ever need any, I'll just send these to you for free. I mean, they're a little bit messed up. I mean, you can get them cheap. So this thing is just from an external. I mean, you can come up with these parts pretty easily themselves. So all you need is you could just fit in anything here, and then you've got the power adapter there, and this will work. So, so it's just taking apart from the old stuff. I always keep all the old stuff, and then if you really wanted to get swanky, is you can always create something very similar to this. So this is just like an adapter that's bought, that you can buy it for like $5. So it's the same concept as this. So if all I have to do is just build an external plastic enclosure for this, it's pretty much exactly the same thing as this thing right here. So just keep that in mind.
I've been looking at enclosures too, you know, to just
Yep.
buy raw drives and put them in an enclosure, but you know, the small ones, you can't really keep it in there. They don't have a lot of cooling or anything, and then that's why I was looking at the Mediasonic box that holds 4 drives up to, is it 8 or 12 terabytes each?
Yeah.
You know,
But-
of course, it still wouldn't work with my XP, but
Yeah, this is a nice enclosure. The only thing is it doesn't have like a fan in there. There's a couple that older enclosures that I have that have like really small fans that big, that'll keep it cool enough where it won't overheat. But they're a little loud. You'll hear them just because it's such a small fan. But they're good because they're just all metal. Metal's or aluminum, so it's just a lot easier for them to cool off.
which brand do you have? What is that?
I can't remember it. I have an enclosure somewhere. I just want to know where it is so I can show you.
What's the one you just
Oh, this one? It's just a Orico.
Rico?
Yeah, but it doesn't have a fan.
Mhm.
The best thing to do is, yeah, you can build something yourself. Just have a like I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't know. A lot of these things that I have, I build myself. So I'll just find like an old case that I find that's for free in the trash, or just something that I have, and there's just the hard drive enclosure, and then I'll just kind of board it up, mostly like tape, whatever. But I'll just have like holes outside of it that you could plug in from like its own power supply, and then just add in some like 120 millimeter fans in there just to keep it cool. So I can have like 8 external drives and create your own either FreeNAS RAID array or a hardware RAID array controller, whatever, and keep it that way. But that's like old school, like very cheap, but it works, you know. It's like you're not going to impress anyone who visits, but you know, I don't really have people visit to admire my my computer setups anyway. So I always like doing it that way. Is just finding just the cheap ways to do something rather than pay like $5-10 to order something. Is just save a lot of these old parts and just reuse them. And if I wanted to make them look cool, I'll just build some type of encasing for it.
Yeah, maybe I should have. I think I just tossed the whole case out. I used to save all the. Oh God, I had computer parts that from computers I'd pick up on the street and everything. So
Yeah.
I had memory sticks and all kinds of things. I still have a bunch of drives sitting around that I took out of old computers I found. And,
Yeah.
you know,
But that's
they're all I drives and that.
yeah.
But I
Yeah.
finally got rid of most of that stuff except for some of the drives.
It is fun is a lot of those parts are still have some pretty good microarchitecture in them, and you can reuse a lot of those parts for on like the current types of drives. So I'd say mostly the like a lot of this stuff is hard to do. It's just they're so small, but a lot of those iDrives and some of the current adapters, you start use those big parts, like parts that you could buy at Radio Shack, and they're always just fun to use. Like I used to I repaired a motherboard once with a huge I think it was a resistor. The resistor looked way out of the way, but it worked. So it was just one part in the very corner, and it's like no one would notice because no one looks inside a computer to look at your motherboard and notice like, hey, why is that resistor so big? But it works. It's like saving $120 at least for a new motherboard. And all I needed was like a $2 resistor. So.
Yeah, you know, I love my setup. I love it. This thing has stood up for 10 years being almost constantly on.
Yeah.
You know, and
They don't make parts like those anymore, do they?
no. I mean, it's, you know, everything. Now I say this, it's going to blow up, right?
You jinxed it. You jinxed it. Don't talk about it anymore.
But everything. I love the case. I have a half X, Cooler Master half X.
Yep.
And I love that. And they don't, I guess they discontinued them. I mean, you still find them listed somewhere and they're like $400 or something. It's like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
But that even on the Cooler Master, you know, you can't find them there. Got mine off Amazon.
I wonder if I still have one.
I bought everything else from Newegg, but I bought the case from Amazon just because at the time Newegg had it, you pay return shipping if there's something wrong, and I figure on a case like that, it was like 40 pounds. It's all steel.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm not going to pay return shipping on that if there's something wrong with it, so I bought it from Amazon.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to reuse towers. But I used to mod a lot of towers for like water cooling, but that's probably wasn't a good idea. But they've come a long way in cases. I ordered a couple which uses tempered glass in the side panels now. They look pretty cool.
Yeah, they look good, but they keep thinking, yeah, clumsy me, it's gonna end up
Broken, yeah. And you don't want to move.
It's tempered glass. It's not going to break.
It'll crack and.
If there's a way, I will find it.
No, what? Do you throw your computer up against the wall or something? It's like it's not going to break.
Kidding. Well, if you move, it'll probably break. If you're gonna move, like put it in a moving truck.
What? You just throw your computer into the back of the truck?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
cool.
I'm just kidding.
I could imagine you packing everything up in boxes with no padding and just like throwing it into the.
Yeah. But you'll find a way to crack them. It's because they have holes in them for the threading for the screws. Those will crack first. I mean, tempered glass, the main glass isn't going to break very easily, but it'll crack in the weak areas. Just like your phone could have tempered glass. It'll crack in certain areas. Just that small little point of pressure, and it'll.
I've had mobile phones. We call them mobile phones, not cell phones. I've had mobile phones since I turned 18. I got an old Motorola, and it wasn't until this year that I actually dropped the phone. And smashed it.
I've had phones.
It was a Samsung 6, so it was getting old, and I needed a new one anyway.
Yeah, I've had a couple of the older Samsungs where I dropped a couple times and they didn't break because I had like protective padding on them.
Mm-hmm.
These ones now, it's like, I don't know. These screens are just made out of weak glass. Here's a couple cracks right there and right there, and this is with the protective this isn't the tempered glass covering. It's just the zag. It's the zag protector, screen protector.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's gonna. I mean, to replace it, just the glass, it would be like $35. But then, I think I might need to replace this. I might need the digitizer and something else, and that ends up being like 128. So I don't know if it's worth replacing.
If I was to recommend a mobile phone, because I took ages to find a mobile phone that I liked. There's a company called you know it, Ebon. It's called Xiaomi.
Yeah.
They make this awesome phone called a poker phone.
A friend of mine showed me a phone. It's supposed to be a gamer phone. It's made by the company Razer, Razer.
Yes.
So it's called the Razer 2. It's expensive, but it's pretty cool. It's got pretty much the same parts as the Samsung Galaxy S9, I think. It's expensive. I know you know it. But what I like about it is it actually has stereo speakers. So if you're watching it in like landscape mode or wherever, you're gonna actually get the stereo speakers. The camera has problems because of the software. That's the only bad thing I heard about it. But the screen the screen is 120 hertz on the Razer 2.
The same company that makes the gaming mice and keyboards.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
These things
And headsets, and they have like the ultimate gaming laptops.
Razer.
I have Razer on the other computer, but
And then
yeah,
Razer.
they've come a long way. They started with keyboard and mice, and I think they started with the laptops, like the gaming laptops, and now they make headsets and a lot of peripherals.
They went from mice and keyboards to headsets to laptops to mobile phones.
Oh yeah. I like them. I think they cater to a niche market, but that niche market really likes the stuff they make.
Yeah. I've heard that their latest version of their phone's pretty average.
I looked at the specs and my friend got it and it looked pretty. It looks boxy, you know. But I prefer the boxy because the stupid Galaxy curves, they don't make the non-curved versions anymore. So you get the curved edges on all of them, and that's where it cracks the most. The screen cracks on those edges, the curved edges.
If you want a cheap but really good phone, I'd say Xiaomi Poker phone is really good.
Yeah.
And then Huawei have another one. I'll never buy Samsung and Apple ever again.
Yeah, I don't think I can buy another Samsung. What? That's a tablet.
Yeah.
Which one is that? Galaxy Tab 3?
I really don't care though, like what it is. I just play my games on it.
Yeah.
But I only play one game in general, and that's Fire Emblem Heroes, and that's the only free-to-play game I'm really gonna play.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm getting ready to go.
Okay.
All right.
Good night, Shirley. Thank you for coming on.
Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry. We took it all over with tech.
Oh, that's okay.
That's all right.
No, it's not.
Bye.
Bye, Shirley.
Bye, Shirley. Yeah, I probably won't keep it on. Probably 15 more minutes.
Yeah, I'll never buy any of those companies' stuff ever again.
The thing that pisses me off the most with the Samsung is I signed up for the Samsung stuff, but now every few minutes they always have like sign up for the Samsung thing. It's like, no, I don't want to sign up for the Samsung thing, and they'll pop it up again. It's like, I know I could get rid of it if I just do a couple things, but it's like I don't want to put in the effort just to do that. I'll just swipe it every time it pops up. It pisses me off. It's the Samsung bloat has started to add in all their bloatware.
My phone will tell me when there's an update, but it'll give me the option to update it.
Yeah, it does the same thing for me, but the latest update or something every time it's like, hey, we got you signed up for Samsung, so log in. It's like, no, I don't use any of my Samsung software or applications.
I don't either. I don't use any. The only problem with the Xiaomi is that they don't allow you to delete their apps.
Oh,
so really? they have their own apps like a browser and video player and all that type of stuff. And it's just like, I'm not into your stuff. I'll do my own, thanks.
Like I used to do a lot of the I'd flash the I flashed the was it BIOS or the OS, so it would just run on pure Android, you know, because every Android has its own like vanilla Android, and you've got your different like version of Android that you can put over
Oreo and all that type of stuff.
I used to play around with all that stuff. But now it's like, oh, I don't want to reinstall everything and all this other stuff.
Yeah, the good thing with Xiaomi and the good thing with Android is they save all your apps.
Yeah. So
if you have to restart
store.
your phone, if you have to reset your phone, you just log back into your Google and then it asks you, do you want to download all your apps again? And it just goes through, and if you say yes, and it just downloads everything.
Yeah, but I have like a lot of authenticators that I have to.
Yeah, you need an app. Again. You need an app called LastPass.
I don't like having storage master password storage things. It's like I have in my head like 100 different combinations of passwords that I use. It sucks because sometimes I'm like, oh, what was that one again? So every time I go through, I go through 100 different passwords.
Or you just go, fuck it, I forgot my password.
Yeah.
And you just say, fuck it, I forgot my password, and then get them to resend you out I can't even say that word now.
Authenticator?
Authentication.
Authentication, yeah. Sometimes but then you have like your secret questions and answers. I forget the answers to my secret questions. Old age, man.
You okay?
He's dying there, Eric.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Remember the days when like you remembered everyone's phone number? Now I can't even remember my wife's phone number. It's all in storage. I used to memorize every capital of the United States, every state. I had all that memorized. Yeah. I don't know if I'm, but like it's like I don't. It's like I don't need to keep it in like my memory palace because you can just easily look it up these days. I used to be able to.
Plus, you're North Korean, so I mean, what else have you got to do with your time?
I don't think there's any North Korean
Bless you.
named Chet Mango. Yeah, bless you. Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing tonight, Mummy? We're learning all 50 states' capitals. Oh, but I want to watch TV. We don't have TV after 6 p.m. because the electricity gets shut off. I know how you North Koreans work. Your propaganda.
We should have you over for dinner one night, Ryan. We'll show you how we do it in North Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah, whose dog are you going to be eating?
Damn!
Did I ever tell you about the time I almost ate dog?
Forsaken comes out of the woodworks.
Oh, man.
Lays a suplex right on Evan's head.
I came this close to eating dog when I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, Koreans eat dog.
Yeah. So I love this dog that my one of my my grandma had. It was at her house.
Oh, my phone's ringing.
Sure. And I noticed it was gone, and I asked, "Hey, what happened to it?" This is when I was probably like 5, and parents says, "Oh, we got rid of it." It's like, okay. And so we were going to eat dinner, and we're having soup, and my brother's going, "Just something's wrong. Don't eat the soup, Ebon." He's 4.5 years old, and I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I don't know. Just don't eat it." And then like parents and relatives were saying, "Eat your food," and I'm like playing around with it, just with the spoon, just trolling, and then I see this paw come up from the soup,
Oh,
and I was like,
no.
"Ah!" I didn't eat or drink any of it, which is good. And my brother saw that too. He's like, "Ah!" We didn't eat for days. We didn't eat for days. And then that explained why the dog was missing. They cooked the dog.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's wrong on so many levels.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah,
Korea for you.
I don't understand a lot of Asian culture. I really don't.
I don't either. I don't know why why they would even consider eating dog. I mean, if you've eaten Korean cuisine, their cow meat is just superb. Everyone loves galbi. Everyone loves, what's the other one? But everyone loves the Korean marinated beef, right? It's like, why even go to dog, right? I just don't get it.
I guess dog is a cheaper meat.
Yeah, but Korea isn't really a third world country anymore. People don't eat cheaper meat.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, people, even though even though this is what I've learnt, even though countries aren't third world anymore, it's really hard to let those old food customs die.
Yeah, I agree. They do seem to keep
You know,
those
it's
lingering.
sort of like, oh, we've got to eat. You know, what happens if World War II starts again? Or I remember when I was young, we used to eat this, and it's just like,
Yeah.
you know.
My father would used to tell me he used to go out and eat locusts, crickets, and stuff like that.
That's all right.
Yeah, he said it tasted pretty good. Yeah.
Did he cook them?
Yeah. I still wouldn't eat them. I don't know.
I would. Apparently, they taste like peanuts.
Why not just eat peanuts? If you wanted
Well,
a peanut taste.
Like, apparently, bugs are the most nutritious food on the planet.
Yeah. I'd rather eat the stuff that eats the bugs. I mean, if I had to eat flies, I'd rather eat the trout that eat the flies.
Well, you don't. You eat selective bugs. Like, there are bugs that'll land on shit, which will carry bacteria and stuff like flies and all that type of stuff. But then you've got bugs that'll, live in the grass and eat on plant life and stuff like that are quite, like grasshoppers and all that type of stuff. I'm not a fan of eating cockroaches. I draw the line on that. But, things like crickets and grasshoppers.
I could see myself eating a cricket or grasshopper, if I was... I wouldn't eat it for, like, the tastes or nutrition. I think it's just more of, like, a survival food. Hey, like, there's nothing else here. We need to survive. I'll go ahead and eat the crickets.
Yeah.
I missed the dog story.
Oh.
I was on the phone.
You didn't miss much. It's a horrible story.
I was just in Korea, and our dog, one of the dogs that I like playing with, just was gone, and I asked where it was, and the grandma said, we just got rid of it, and I was like, okay, that sucks. And then we're having dinner, and my brother just had reservations about it. He said, Ebon, don't eat the food. And I go, why? He goes, I don't know, just don't eat the food. So as a kid, and I was like 5 years old, I was just playing with the soup, and then all of a sudden I turned over a paw, and I started screaming, and my brother started screaming. We both left. We didn't eat for days. But we know what happened to the dog.
Yeah. Trauma.
Yeah, that was trauma. Yeah. So we're just...
I heard you talking about something about eating bugs. Okay, so the one thing is, when I was little, like really little, maybe a year or two old, one of my uncles came. He was in the Navy, and he came back with some chocolate covered. It was either ants or grasshoppers, and I ate them. And my mom would tell me about it. It's like, oh. But like, yum.
Like,
sorry, Garrick.
The chocolate covered ants, chocolate covered grasshoppers.
There's a nature show that I watched a couple years ago, and someone was eating ants. Like, the ends of ants had this like honey on them, and he would just eat the ends of the ants, and he said it was delicious. People who eat termites, they say the termites taste like almonds. I've never tasted a termite, but that's what they say they taste like. And just like you're saying, crickets taste like peanut butter, or not peanut butter, peanuts. So they probably have a nutty taste to it. It's just, I think it's just our minds. It's just the concept.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's like
where they eat insects.
It's becoming a thing in Australia to eat bugs. So as a form of nutrition. It's on the TV all the time. Eat bugs, they're good for you. Get fucked.
Yeah. I mean, People will say, eat worms, look at the protein. It's like, I'll use the worms to catch a fish, and there's more protein in that than that worm. And
Yep.
better taste. So, yeah.
Yeah, the other thing I had when I was little, and I heard the story about, this is my father's side of the family in both cases. The duck's blood soup. Chanina, duck's blood soup.
Why?
And they told me it was chocolate soup. But
Did
yeah,
it?
You know why they created all that stuff? It's because it was better for it was the good cuts of meat would go off to the rich, and the cheaper cut, like the blood and stuff, the rich didn't want. So they would make, blood sausage and all that type of stuff.
Yeah,
out
makes
of it.
sense.
That's why they made that type of stuff. So, just a little history lesson.
It's kind of a good thing, so nothing goes to waste. But I don't think things really go to waste, like the blood and the guts and stuff like that. That can just go back into the ground.
Dog food,
nutrients, dog food, nutrients for soil and stuff like that. I don't really call that waste. But my father used to eat the fish eyeballs, and I hear the fish eyeballs are the most nutritious part of the fish.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't gonna eat the fish eyeballs.
No. Yeah, my dad had a story too, where there was somebody he worked with, and they invited my parents for dinner, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna give you the best part." They made lamb.
Yeah.
So they give him the best part of the lamb, and they were round. It was something round in the sauce and everything. And he put it in his mouth and started he said it started like melting. And they said they told him it was the eye, I guess. And my father, who had this cast iron stomach, who ate all kinds of things, I guess he went out and vomited.
Yeah, I don't get it. In the U.S., it's no different. Rocky Mountain oysters. I mean, bull's balls. It's like, who comes up with these things?
Yeah, I go with what Ryan said, that it was, they got the unwanted cuts of everything, and
Yeah. We were driving through to Wyoming. No. I think it was Yellowstone. And they have Rocky Mountain oyster festivals. They have festivals.
Mm-hmm. Do you watch that Andrew Zimmer dude?
I don't watch these days.
He's the guy who does the like weird eating show.
No, why?
No, he always goes out to somewhere that's castrating an animal somewhere, and the first thing they do is spark up the barbecue. Yeah.
I think I forgot what show it was, but somewhere in Africa, one of their customs is if you're visiting, they'll sacrifice a goat or something, and you have to drink the blood of the goat right after they cut it, or you'll be like not liked. I mean, it's like the guest custom to drink the blood of what they sacrificed for their meal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm not down with that shit.
Yeah.
Can you just sacrifice a chocolate bunny?
They probably don't even know what chocolate is.
I wonder if sometimes I always think it's just a big hidden joke. It's like, hey, look, we got these filmmakers coming, and they want to know our customs. Let's just kill a goat and make them drink the blood and say it's our custom. And just... I mean,
and then after they leave, they're all laughing.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Dumb motherfuckers.
And they go, as a guest of honor, you get to eat the testicles of the goat. It's an honor for people to eat.
Well, you can go honor yourself and go get fucked.
Yeah. stuff like that just kill me. All right.
I'm not down for that shit. I'm just I'm
I'm not either.
like
All right.
I've eaten some funky stuff in my life. All right, man.
All right.
You heading off?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll get Robitussin right now, but I'm gonna have to try that Robitussin.
You know the one thing that I love about America
What was that?
is that there's always something open 24 hours.
They don't have 24 hours of stuff open in Australia, really?
Some supermarkets, most close at 12 midnight.
Okay. Yeah. Here, a lot of our grocery stores and our like pharmacy-ish type of stores are open 24 hours. I miss those days where like they used to have like bars that are open. Like you could go to bars and like clubs and they'd be open till like 4, 5 in the morning, but now everything closes at like 2. I wonder what happened. And then but what a lot of people would do is they would, when I was younger, they would go to those clubs, bars, wherever, and once it closes, go to one of those 24-hour eateries. You know, Seattle was good. They have a place, I wish I could remember it. They have 12 egg omelets and all you can eat hash browns, and they're open 24 hours a day.
This is the one thing I don't like about humans is the fact that they're pigs.
Yeah. But what we do is we would just split the 12 egg omelet. And everyone just eat as much hash browns as they want.
Like I see those. I watch sometimes at night they have these American TV shows on where they have eating competitions. Yeah, and I just think you fucking gluttonous pigs. Yeah, and it come out with food platters, 5-6 inches high, 14 inches round. It's just like, you fucking pigs.
There's I forgot what show I used to watch. They'd have this guy just go to all those places, just the biggest portions ever, and see if he could finish eating it within an hour. That was the show. And they'd have like these huge like hamburgers that are like 20-pound hamburgers. He has to try to finish it in like an hour.
Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. And
it's disgusting.
It is. I don't get it. But yeah, they have competitions here. Like that's part of the gimmick. They have there's this hot dog place in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
So if they have like a leaderboard, if you can beat the person who's on the top, it's free. So so like say someone for that store, and it's a chain, someone came in and they ate 17 hot dogs under 30 minutes. So if you can eat 18 hot dogs in 30 minutes, all of that's free. But then if you don't, you have to pay for all the hot dogs.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Gosh.
All the people that are starving in this world.
Yeah. Well, thing is, I don't think it's the problem from the stores. I think it's just a problem with the system in general. I think we've got abundance. If you guys should visit the Nebraska. I mean, it's not for everyone, but you can see how much abundance there is here.
Fuck Nebraska. Nobody wants to go there, man.
Oh, come on. I'll show you around. I mean, there's cornfields.
Take us 5 minutes.
There's cornfields. There's other fields.
There's crack. There's methamphetamines.
Is there crack in... I don't know. Maybe in the bigger cities. I don't think in the...
You're in country, dude. You're in the country. Of course, there's crack.
They did crack in Massachusetts.
They do crack everywhere, dude.
Really? I don't think they did crack here. I'll have to look it up. We'll see if they do.
I reckon Nebraskans eat crack like it's candy.
Nah.
Yeah, they probably did meth instead.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't see it. I don't see, like, when I'm in Boston and stuff like that, I can see it. In Massachusetts. Here, I don't see it very much.
Do you have hollers in Nebraska?
Hollows?
Hollers. You know, like up in the hills, hollers. You know, like if you go to
Hollow?
Yeah, if you know, like if you go to somewhere like West Virginia or Arkansas or somewhere down there, and all the redneck inbred families live up in the hills, and they're called hollers. Fuck, I even know more about America than what you guys do.
We don't watch those crazy shows like you do.
I don't watch Deliverance. Have you seen Deliverance?
Yes, I've seen Deliverance.
That's a holler.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
No, I haven't seen that here. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. Maybe I shouldn't look hard enough.
Maybe you should look harder for the people with two heads.
No thanks. I'd rather live in my...
Good conversationalists.
So you want me to go looking for the hollows in Nebraska and report them to you, and I'll go and interview the hollow wieners.
Yeah, especially the crack addicted ones.
I could give them $1 to interview them. They'll probably do that. Maybe not.
You could probably give them a quarter and they'd still do it.
That's just messed up.
Dude, come on. Don't get all sensitive.
I'm Mr. Sensitive, if you didn't know.
No, yeah, sure.
All right, thanks everybody. I'm gonna call it.
All right, man.
All right, good night, everyone. Love you all. Take care.
Good night.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend.
You too.